Did you know that Australia is a continent, country, and island at the same time?
It is located between the Pacific and Indian Oceans in the southern hemisphere.
The estimated population of Australia in 2021 was 25.7 million people.
The island continent mainland extends for about 7,688 million kilometers.
Most important and recognized inventions are
The pacemaker invented in 1920 by Dr. Mark Litwill and physicist Edgar Bolt.
The ultrasound scanner, invented in 1976 by Autonix Corporation.
the electric drill, invented in 1889 by electrical engineer Arthur James Arnott and his colleague William Brain.
And the cochlear implant, invented in 1917 by Professor Graham Clark.
About religion in Australia, Christianity remains the most common religion, about 52% of the population.
Islam in second place with about 2.6%.
And Buddhism in third place with 2.4%.
About the meaning of life,
Many people believe that we humankind are the creation of a supernatural entity called God.
That God had an intelligent purpose in creating us.
We get to interview an Australian family, but according to the difference in the time zones, we could only get the right answers, so we will interpret them.
Hello sir, what's your name?
Kenton Stewart.
Nice to meet you, Kenton.
Nice to meet you too.
Today I'm going to ask some questions, and the first question is, what is the main religion in Australia?
Well, Australia is not a very religious country. With my family, we are Christians, and lots of people who are immigrants, they have their own religion, like Hinduism, Muslim, and there are other like Christian churches, Orthodoxes, and Catholics.
The second question is, what meaning does life have there in Australia?
Well, it is different for everyone. That there is no general characteristic.
I understand.
Among the most common foods, we have lamingtons, which is recognized as the national cake of Australia.
It is named after Lord Lamington, a former governor who apparently had quite a sweet tooth. It consists of a modest, square-shaped sponge dipped in chocolate and coated with desiccated coconut.
Another common food are meat pies, which are pies that are hand-sized, filled with mincemeat and gravy, and topped with tomato sauce.
Then we have fairy bread, which is the ultimate kids' party food, but adults love it too. It consists of white bread, butter, and rainbow sprinkles.
And finally, we have chicken parmigiana, the classic Aussie dish with roots in Italian and American cooking. It consists of crumbed chicken and smothered in a rich tomato sauce and mounds of melting cheese.
And what is your favorite food?
I like green Thai curry. It is not originally from Australia, but it is well known here.
Hello, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Belén Schubert Montecino.
Nice to meet you, Belen.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, Belen, today I'm going to ask some questions, and the first question is, what's your favorite food?
There isn't really anything that can be classified as Australian food, but I had to choose. It'd be the meat pie, which is a mini pie stuffed with minced meat in sauce.
Oh, delicious. Talking about dances, the traditional indigenous Australian dances are greatly associated with song and telling stories. In some cases, animals are even imitated.
Some of the most common stereotypes of Australia are that people believed that kangaroos and koalas are everywhere. It is partially true, but you can't always see them.
Another stereotype is that the whole continent is just desert. A big part of the continent is desert, but there is much more variety of landscapes.
Also, people say it is always hot and sunny, but that is not true. It gets cold just like everywhere else, although it can be sunny and cold at the same time.
And lastly, people believe that when you step in this country, you will be killed by deadly animals. However, it is not common to encounter any of these creatures, at least that easily.
We know that stereotypes lead to prejudice, so here are some prejudices that Australians have.
First, they have negative opinions towards Aborigines due to racism, and this situation can be compared to the movement of Black Lives Matter.
Half of the population consider men to be better politician leaders than women.
28% of the population think that is justified when a husband hits her wife.
They also believe that their own artistic productions are worse than American and British ones.
Talking about oppressed groups in Australia, women are an oppressed group due to violence and misogynist doubts.
The Aborigines are oppressed because of their physical appearance due to the high levels of racism in Australia.
The non-British people because they are a British colony.
And lastly, people who are poor because they are outcasted and exploited.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Gladiola.
Nice to meet you, Gladiola.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, Gladiola, today I'm going to ask some questions, and the first question is: have you experienced problems, discrimination, or anything similar because of stereotypes or prejudice?
Well, the way of thinking of the people from different cultures, it is very different. And sometimes it is not even easy to recognize a joke, because we can translate literally and the things for me make no sense, but for them it is funny. And the other way around. Problems? Maybe because of the older people who are not used to people who don't speak their language, so they don't understand my accent sometimes. And more if I talk soft, and with all of this, wearing masks with COVID, it's more difficult. The same in the opposite direction. Sometimes I may miss a word of a phrase and I can't get what someone means. I think your young people are more used to people that are from other places, as there are a lot of immigrants in this country, while the older people struggle a bit with it. They are more discriminative and racist, although sometimes they don't even realize.
Thank you. Okay, Kenton. Stereotypes that are evident?
Well, most Australian stereotypes are made up for tourist purposes, and not all of them reflect reality. Most stereotypes are applicable to the people that live in the countryside, like the way they dress, how they talk, etc. And older people are more inclined to have stereotypes about the people that come from overseas and immigrants.
Thank you.
Finally, we have an interview where an Australian citizen told us about how the educational system works.
Okay, Belen. How many grades is there and how are they divided?
Here in Australia, a school is divided into two separate learning institutions. Primary school, which lasts 7 years as it starts on reception, then comes year 1 and ends in year 6. And high school, which lasts another 6 years, going from year 7 to 12.
And when does the school year start and how is divided?
The school year in Australia starts either in late January or early February. It is divided into 2 semesters, which are then divided into terms each year.
Thank you, Ellen. Kenton, how is the superior school system and how do people access it?
Well, most school leavers go to university, which is accessed by school results, just like in Chile. The government provides interest-free loans and university students to cover their cost for the tuition.
Thank you, Kenton. Gladiola, what's been the main difference for you?
Well, one big difference is that here are a lot of animals, native animals, what is something more difficult to see in Chile. Like there, if you go to a national park and you see one or two pudus, you will consider yourself lucky. But here are lots of kangaroos in the streets, near to the house in the suburbs. The possums come to your garden and eat your veggies and flowers. From time to time, you can even get a koala around, and lots of others everywhere. There is a lot of wild ducks. They just pass flying over your head, and in other places like North, there is more fun because there are crocodiles and snakes. They can enter to your house, the pool, the toilets, etc. I like animals, so I find that amazing.
Thank you, Gladiola. Okay, Gladiola, in your opinion, as a teacher, what is the difference between education in Chile and Australia?
Well, the primary school is not as demanding as in Chile, and I like it. Children still have time to play, and the school hours are not that long. There is more encouragement for the children to try different sports in the public schools. I think the public primary schools in Australia are nicer to the children than the Chilean. Nothing to do with the teachers. Chilean teachers are very well prepared. Chilean academic level is really high, but in practice there are many things that play against the children and teacher interest in there.
To close this documental, we have some fun facts about Australia.
Australia is home to 21 of the world's 25 most venomous snakes.
There are 26 million people living in Australia currently. 90% of them live on the coast.
80% of the animals are unique to Australia.
The first police in Australia was made up on the most well-behaved convicts.
And that was it. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you have enjoyed it and now you know more about Australia.